Hey guys, I'm so glad that you came to Liverpool One Church life groups. I mean, for real, they are the best way to make sure that a large and growing church feels small and you get connected with life-giving community. I mean, for real, this is a brilliant step that you've taken. So thanks for being a part of life groups, and a huge thank you to your life group hosts and leaders. We love you, we appreciate you. This Sunday in church, we've been continuing our current series that's called You Belong Here. And last week, you might remember that Emma kicked us off so brilliantly well when she gave us this thought about how when you're part of a local church, like we all are at Liverpool One, we have to carry this sentiment with us at all times that says, it's not about me, it's about we. Like being part of a church is like being a part of the family, which means that we're not always all going to get exactly what we want. And I love that idea because here's the danger. The moment that we launch a series that's called You Belong Here, we have to make sure that we've got in place the component parts that make that attitude actually possible. Otherwise, we have signs on the wall that say, welcome home, and we're about everyone. But if we don't exhibit those attitudes and characteristics needed as the people of Christ within the church that say, you belong here, then it doesn't matter how fancy our signage is. So what we did on Sunday was we were looking at a very well-known passage of scripture. It's the story of the prodigal son. However, I feel that it could have been easily called the prodigal sons, because it's not just a story about a rebellious son and a loving father. It's actually a story about a father that has two sons. And whilst one was rebellious, this Sunday we were giving airtime to the other brother that we never hear preached about. And we were looking at some of the characteristics and attitudes that he displayed that weren't necessarily helpful to enable his young, prodigal, rebellious son to come back into the family fold. And there were 9 things that we looked at, and we can't look at them all again tonight, but there was one key particular point that I do want to labor on for Life Group tonight. In the passage that we read, you are like the older brother when you become divisive in your language. If you remember from the text, one of the things that we saw was that when the other brother was speaking to the father, he would always say, this son of yours has come back for a party with the fattened calf. And he would never say, this brother of mine. His language, it was divisive. This son of yours, rather than this brother of mine. I really feel that the season that we're in as a church right now, it needs us all to be unified and aligned in our language now more than ever. And it means this. It means that we're going to speak well of one another, positively of one another, and positively just about life. Because Ephesians teaches us, allow no unwholesome thing to ever come out of your mouth. And I know that this is real hard because, hey, I'm just like you. We all struggle with the same things. Sometimes it's hard in the moment when someone's wanting to gossip to not get engaged in that. It's hard in the moment when you're angry and you feel like saying expletives or curse words. But remember the words of Ephesians. Don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. And truthfully, I believe this. If we do that point on its own as a church, can you imagine the difference that would make in our Christ-following community? If we all spoke well of one another, that we didn't believe the bad report, that we didn't engage in the negative conversation, if we didn't engage in the gossip, but we just chose to remind ourselves that we're like the other brother when we start to allow our language to be divisive. So that's my ask of you at Life Group, and maybe the first question that we can kick off with tonight is, how easily do you find it to speak positively, even when maybe you're surrounded by negativity? How do you find it, and what do you do to make sure that you live out that Ephesians 4 language of just don't let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth? Have a great time discussing. Can't wait to see you in church for Sunday. Pastor Randy Bazzette's going to be with us for all 3 services. And don't forget, there's going to be a barbecue at the 6. Have a wonderful week, guys. See ya.